Tonight, her voice still shook with emotion despite her face showing little remorse, and I sat at the very dining table we chose when moving into our home together, expecting an ordinary evening. Instead, she announced something that seemed to pause time itself. "I'm moving in with Anthony, and we're having a baby." For several moments, reality felt surreal. The woman who had been the cornerstone of my life had just undermined everything I had built, delivering this bombshell as casually as discussing the weather. At first, I harbored hope it was some kind of cruel jest. A momentary chuckle escaped me, anticipating her to break into laughter. She did not. Her countenance remained somber and unyielding. It was then that the weight of my situation truly settled upon me. My chest felt as if a concrete block had been plopped onto it. The initial question that escaped me wasn't about why, but rather when. When did our commitment cease to hold significance? She realized. My coworker, instead of my spouse who had been by my side during every tempest, appeared more crucial to her. Without a second thought, she confessed it had been ongoing for months. She expressed fatigue from maintaining the illusion of wanting this marriage. A part of me yearned to erupt. Another part desired to overturn the table and scream. Yet I remained composed. I was mute. Unusually so, this seemed to unnerve her. She expected tears, pleading a confrontation. Instead, I filled the void with prolonged silence. Then I inquired about the one thing that finally made her falter. "You genuinely believed I wouldn't deduce it." At that moment, I observed a hint of fear, because the fact was I had already grasped it. The late nights, the sudden fixation on her looks, her phone constantly in hand, these were no longer mere observations. I had observed everything, and indeed, once I trailed her, she entered his apartment building without deviation. Consequently, when she eventually admitted it, I wasn't surprised. It merely validated what I was mentally prepared to confront. However, knowing didn't reduce the pain. She attempted to explain. She asserted that Anthony invigorated her, claimed he provided her with the attention and thrill that our marriage supposedly lacked. I remained silent, internally recollecting every extra hour worked, every postponed plan to provide her the desired life. Yet my loyalty was insufficient. Eventually, she grew agitated, evidently exasperated. "Aren't you going to respond?" she asked. That was when I leaned back, looked straight into her eyes, and calmly replied, "Good luck," adding, "because while you were engrossed in constructing a clandestine life, I was discussing legal matters." The color instantly drained from her face at this revelation. She anticipated sorrow, not readiness. I stated that I had previously recorded the situation. The divorce documents were almost complete, and everything would be dealt with solely according to law. In an instant, her dream shattered. That's when the crying began, not regretful tears, but fearful ones. Fear that the security she had assumed would vanish. Fear that Anthony, the thrilling escape, might lose enthusiasm once real-life obligations emerged. She suggested we discuss, maybe find a solution. I just nodded my head. "You made your decision," I whispered. "Now you must face the consequences," I told her. Soon after, she gathered her things and left. I signed the papers with a steady hand. People assume betrayal ruins you, but oddly I felt unburdened. I had already mourned the marriage long before she admitted it. By the time she walked out the door, I was already progressing months ahead. Through a shared acquaintance, I learned that their relationship with Anthony wasn't thriving. Life's burdens, bills, stress, obligations soon surfaced. Apparently, the initial joy didn't endure indefinitely. I didn't revel in the information, rather I felt a sense of completion instead of vengeance. She chose her journey, and I mine. I renewed ties with old companions, resumed forgotten pastimes, and commenced constructing a tranquil life. That event didn't merely dissolve my marriage, but returned my freedom, as sometimes power isn't about holding on to one who has departed. Often, it lies in discerning the precise moment to allow them to leave.